I'm going to tell you how my neighbor tried to use 911 like a crowbar, and how the call landed on the one person she never expected: my wife. If you've ever dealt with someone who dresses control up as concern, who speaks in official tones while stepping over your threshold, you'll feel this. My name is Micah Carter. I'm a back-end engineer who lives by logs, timestamps, and proof. We had just moved into a split level on Cedar Lane in Riverton. Boxes still stacked coffee, still in a travel mug, when the front door shook under a fist like somebody meant to loosen the hinges. I opened to a woman in a visor and a polo with an embroidered patch that read, Maple Crest Safety on one side and Brenda Cole on the other. Hello? No welcome. Pie, just a manila folder, and a flat voice: you are out of compliance. Immediate inspection. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because I was tired. Wrong house, I said. Maple Crest ends behind the sycamores. Your rules don't reach this far. Brenda gave me a look like I'd confessed to a crime, then opened the folder on my entry table. Aerial photos of my roof close-ups of the mailbox numbers, measurements in ruler-straight handwriting, like she was prepping a heist. Living room window, 48 bedroom facing street, 36. When did you take these, I asked, and she traced the outline of my door in a photo, like she was memorizing a face. These split levels, she whispered. My father built houses like this. Not past tense, not memories present, like he still had a ladder against the siding somewhere at midnight. Paranoid is part of my job description. So I pulled my phone, hit record, and brought up the deed on my tablet parcel number app. The dotted line where Maple Crest stops and Cedar Lane begins your HOA. Isn't my HOA, I told her. Your authority ends at that dotted line. She did not blink. She handed me a document with the city logo. Emergency Structural Review. Inspector H. James' professional fonts, official, toned the whole costume, so I dialed the number on the sheet while she watched City Building Department. A man said, I've got Inspector H. James here at my door, saying I need an emergency check, I said. And the line went quiet. Just long enough for my stomach to drop. We don't have anyone by that name, sir. That sounds like fraud. I hit speaker. Brenda's face froze like a video buffering the supervisor came on. Said they'd flag the fake refer impersonation to the city attorney. Good day. Victory number 1. Right. Except it felt like winning an argument with a storm cloud. Brenda gathered her papers with shaking hands. Technicalities don't override community safety, as the elected safety coordinator for Maple Crest. These split levels fall under oversight due to proximity. And risk, your house should be under our jurisdiction, she said, should like a verdict stepped off my porch and wheeled away in a golf cart that squeaked like a guilty conscience. My wife, Lena, pulled up as the cart disappeared. She's a 911 dispatcher with 6 years behind a console. Her whole body reads stress, the way Doppler reads wind. What happened? She asked. And I spread the photos and the fake inspector sheet on the table. This isn't nosy neighbor stuff, she said, eyes moving like a scanner. This is target fixation pre-entry planning. She documented the house before we lived here. That's premeditation, and watch the utility angle predators call in fake leaks or smells to justify entry document everything every time. I slept like a man who thinks he won, and woke like a man who hadn't. Because that night our next-door neighbor whistled from his dark yard. Got a minute, he said. And Rick Alvarez, retired patrol. The kind of eyes that have seen everything twice, kept his voice low. She's been photographing this house for months, and if she mentioned her dad and split levels, Did she say anything about Owen Hale? The name fell heavy. Who's Owen? I asked, and Rick said quietly, the owner before you died last spring. The next morning, I went spelunking through realtor leftovers in the garage. Utility slips, appliance manuals, warranty cards, nothing. Until I found a manila folder taped under the old workbench, like a fire drill secret. Same size as Brenda's, but the handwriting was different, shaky and rushed. First page, a note. If something happens to me, don't trust. Brenda Cole. She has copies of my keys. She convinced me she was my emergency contact for safety. I was wrong. She watches at night. She measures windows. She tests locks. If you're reading this, get out. Don't let her into any other houses. Owen Hale, March 2023. There were grainy photos, too. Time-stamped. Brenda outside Owen's window with a flashlight and a tape measure. The Brenda at his gate latch with a ring of keys. Brenda circling the foundation with some beeping device. One shot of her at 3 a.m. in the backyard, talking with her hands to no one. Like the house had argued back. I called Rick, and he dropped the cop calm. He came to me 3 times begging for help. I told him to file reports. He did. They called it civil. By the time anyone listened, he was gone. I should have done more, he said. I'm not staying neutral this time. The week that followed felt like psychological pinball Monday at 3 Mo. Anonymous noise complaints from 3 different numbers Tuesday. A man from Brenda's old school district knocked to say, structural concerns required a quick look Wednesday. My ISP called about suspicious activity reported by a community liaison. Each complaint had just enough official language to skate past a tired brain. Every single one traced back to Brenda's orbit when I checked timestamps and call patterns. I built a wall of receipts, yeah. I became that guy. GPS pings from a dash cam. License plates. Phone. Logs. The cadence was weirdly precise. Brenda would roll up in her golf cart, sit for exactly 3 minutes. Visor down like a shield. And within the hour, a complaint landed with my address on it. When the school buddy said he needed to peek at the foundation, I said sure. Show me the official complaint number and the city case ID he had. Neither, he left small wins. Stacking like sandbags. The footage made my stomach knot, though. Thursday, 11:06 p.m. She walked the perimeter with a flashlight and tried window latches on Friday. 41 p.m. She stood at my porch and rehearsed into her phone. Yes, officer, I'm the safety coordinator, and I'm hearing distress inside. They're refusing a mandatory inspection. I need immediate entry. She ran it again. She refined it. Lena came home to my serial killer corkboard and didn't tease me. She pressed her thumb against a timestamp. She's rehearsing to use 911 to get in. She said, "Then, if she calls in a welfare check with authority, language a supervisor will roll because we don't miss real emergencies. I'm on a double this weekend, downtown until 6. Then residential zone. There's an overlap where calls can route either way. Keep recording and don't open the door for anything without a verified badge and a case number. You know what I mean, Sunday." 7 p.m. The sirens weren't loud, more like a murmur. 2 patrol cars and a supervisor unit stopped at our gate. My live feed showed Brenda already in teacher mode, pointing at my living room window. I opened before the knock. "Evening, officers," I said with my hands visible. The sergeant's badge read, "Hendricks," he said. "Ms. Cole reports someone inside may be in distress and has requested a welfare check with entry for inspection. There's no emergency. I said, and my wife is at work. She's a 911 dispatcher. I've been alone all evening. Brenda didn't blink as the elected safety coordinator. I have community oversight. I heard distressing sounds and attempted a wellness check. They refused a mandatory inspection. We need to get inside. Elected by who? I almost asked. But Sergeant Hendricks keyed his radio dispatch. Confirm caller's authority and dispatcher identity. The radio answered with Lena's voice caller, identifies as Brenda Cole, HOA safety coordinator. Authority unverified dispatcher is Lena Carter. Everything went still. That dispatcher is my wife, I said. And the math solved itself on their faces. Brenda tried one more narrative. These split levels have inherent structural dangers. My father built houses like this. There could be hidden violations requiring immediate inspection. The sergeant turned to her and in a voice ironed flat said, "Ma'am, step over here." Then cuffs, false reporting, impersonating authority, attempted unlawful entry under color of law, and she smiled. "I swear now you'll see," she said. "The investigation will prove I was right. They'll have to search the house." Yeah, that happened. 3 weeks later, a judge signed a warrant to search her place, and they let me stand behind the tape with Hendricks. The basement smelled like paper and cold metal, and something you only notice when it's too late. Every wall was covered floor to ceiling. Split-level houses from the 70s, documented with obsessive care photos. Blueprints, measurements, fake